We're going to take a look at the things that are happening around the planet. We're going to cover different technologies. Like I've said over and over again on this website, though, we're not going to go into grave details of the technologies that we've come up with. As soon as we get the funding together, then we're going to release more of the technology. But as it sits right now, we're just trying to show where we're planning to use the technology and what we're planning to do with it, and a little bit of how, if we had the funding we need, we would be able to completely change the way things are happening. Continuously there's mysteries happening around the world, and the news organizations are going, oh my goodness, it's magical, or the end of the world, or whatever fictional thing they want to come up with. But there's logical science behind almost everything out there. Okay, so let's just dive right in. All over the planet we have birds, animals of any kind. Please Google this, look it up, research it for yourself. There is a reactionary state to everything that takes place. A fish eats something. Because that fish eats something, it keeps its number in small amount. It being there allows the fish to have something to eat, which is great. But if there's less fish and these other microbes or whatever they are decide to multiply, they can completely mess up the system that we're living in.
In competition with us. But perhaps the most bizarre consequence of overfishing is being uncovered on a remote shore in southwest Africa. It's a story with surprising twists and turns that will ultimately connect cold fish to a warming planet. It began with foul smells emanating from the sea. Locals called it a sulfur event.
Some days I'd arrive at work and the whole building was filled with this stench. It smells like rotten eggs in their most rotten state.
And then, like a biblical plague, hordes of fish would appear, dying on the shore.
I remember days that we went to the beaches and there was like tons of fish washed out on the beaches.
Every conceivable type of fish came out by the tons and tons and tons.
A lot of fish were still alive. We never knew there was so much fish in the sea.
And now so much dead fish. It was a shocking spectacle. They compared data images corresponding to past sulfide events. As suspected, the satellites were detecting sudden changes in ocean color that matched eyewitness accounts. It's a series of eruptions. And these back-to-back events are expanding out of control, growing larger than anybody ever suspected. What were once thought to be small local phenomena now appeared to cover thousands of square miles. Andrew Bachkin was now obsessed with the remaining open questions. How did the eruptions get so big? And what triggered them in the first place? At this point, you might be scratching your head and wondering, what does this have to do with fishing? Good question. The only fish we've seen in this story were dying in droves on a beach. Well, fish, it turns out, are players in this drama, and very lively ones. Or at least they were until a few years ago. Namibia's fisheries used to be among the richest in the world. But by the 1970s, most stocks were nearly wiped out by foreign fleets.
It's not 100 million individuals, it's 100 billion individual fish. You can't get 1 million tons of fish anymore out of this system.
Bachkin thinks sardines once played a key role in keeping the lid on the deep-sea explosions. They were one of the main fish that could hold their own in the rough currents, where by gorging on phytoplankton, they decreased the source of sediment gases. With the sardine numbers down, he reasons the eruptions could increase in the future. This could be bad news. More explosions could threaten the government's efforts to rebuild the sardine stocks. The eruptions already extend into nursery grounds where they kill young fish and larvae. Bakken and his colleagues have boldly proposed that the eruptions may be adding to global warming. The methane released in the eruptions is, like carbon dioxide, a heat-trapping gas.
When you get eruptions of methane gas the size of the state of New Jersey, you are putting an enormous amount of a very potent greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. Sometimes we lose more than the fish that we take out of the ocean.
Could the massive removal of fish really have an effect on the climate system? Andrew Bakken thinks so, and he believes the climate is just the beginning. Who knows what other forces might be unleashed?
We're going to find results that were far from what we expected. Certainly, this example shows us how fishing can contribute to global warming.
And I hope you stick with it. We're going to take and break this up over many videos so that you don't completely get bored with the subject. But I hope you keep coming back and really get to explore this. Please become a subscriber, and there will be petitions that are going to be available for signing, and email us, comment, everything you can. Get involved as much as you can, please. We're going to try to set up things to where we'll get the funding that we need so we can just really get this off the ground. Thank you for your time. Thank you for paying attention, and truly hope you enjoy this.